Hello and welcome to Walk of Kings, episode 8. Anything reasonable? It's been a bit since we have gotten to this. How have you been recently, my brother?
Pretty all right. Um, Trying to lose a little bit of weight on a low carbohydrate diet, and it is one of my favorite things in the world. I absolutely love that I'm
It's
not
so
eating
fun, isn't
pasta
it?
or bread right now. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah,
How about yourself?
I'm definitely not exerting the discipline and self-control to do that. I am just trying to enjoy the fact that it is my favorite time of year out, even when it's gray and cloudy and
Mm.
rainy and cold. That's still something I enjoy quite a lot. I'm
Yeah.
trying to figure out where the balance is for my body that likes to overheat when I'm just exerting any kind of effort, which I should probably
Mm.
be losing that weight too. Like, oh, it's 50 degrees. I'll wear the coat when I go for a walk, and then after 10 minutes, I have to
Yeah.
peel the coat completely off because I'm just sweltering. And
Yeah,
so
and it's
just
great.
yeah, jeans and a t-shirt is my ideal like at freezing or above
Yeah, yeah,
guard,
yeah.
I suppose.
I'll toss a hearty hoodie over that, but
Yep.
yeah, jeans, t-shirt, hoodie, some boots. Baby,
Yeah,
you got a stew going.
exactly. Um, the weather in Carbranth is much less wintry as we get into today's chapter, which is a
That
Shalon
is true.
chapter, which means
It
it's
is
your turn. Well, it's your turn this week to do the Shalon chapter, but we go right into another Shalon chapter next week.
correct.
So it'll
Because we
actually
took
be
so
my
much
chapter.
time with Bridge 4. Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird how that happened. But for today, it is your turn to
It
summarize the
is
chapter.
my favorite. Alrighty. So, what's this chapter called? Nothing personal, kid? Is that
Yes, it's
right?
called Anything Reasonable, I believe.
Oh, I was basically right.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Um,
just the same thing.
so, last time we saw Shalon, she saw Yasna soulcast the ginormous boulder into smoke, and then Yasna turned to Shalon and said, "Girl, you dumb. I'm not doing this with you."
Hmm.
And then walked off, and Shalon was not happy about that. And we directly, I think it was the first time that Shalon had directly said that she was there to steal the Soulcaster
Yes.
from Yasna, right at the
Shalon
very end of
turns
the
and looks
chapter.
to the camera, raises an eyebrow, and is like, "Aha! But I'm actually here to steal the soul casting." And we're like,
So,
How could we have possibly not foreseen this
oh
coming?"
no, not Shalon making very clear note of the Soulcaster on Yasna's hand. So this chapter, Shalon makes her way back to the Palanaeum. She encounters a master servant.
And
Master
what is the
servant gives her
Palanaeum?
the Palanaeum is the Library of Alexandria.
Yes,
Essentially, there are 700,000 texts.
it's a lot. It's a massive
It's a
number
lot,
of books.
and that's the main thing that Carbranth does. Besides the hospitals, is it contains information, and people come pay a lot of money and get to read
Hmm.
stuff. So Shalon gets brought to the Palanaeum. She encounters a master servant. Master servant tells her that it's going to be about $1 million to actually like buy a ticket to the Palanaeum, because that's what they use as funding money for the hospitals.
Yeah, was it a
But
lot? Or
it was a ton.
I don't remember what the amount was.
Just a sec. I can tell you
It
here
of
in a
course
minute.
doesn't matter to Yasna because she has a massive budget being a princess. But that of course is why Yasna was here in the first place, is to go to the Palanaeum to do some research, which is why
A,
Shalyn is
a
following her.
ticket to the Palanaeum costs 1,000 sapphire bromes.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, goodness.
So she decides to just squat in a reading alcove next to Yasna's reading alcove so she's not technically in the Palinam. She's in like the quiet library part of quiet table, sit down, whatever.
May I interject real quick?
Yes.
Aradon FTW on Reddit did some sphere calculation based on a loaf of bread costing either a diamond chip or, in our world, $2. That would scale up to the Palinam's chit of admittance being about $1 million. I don't know if that math is. I don't know if that math is quite scales exactly the same way. But even if it's actually just like hundreds of thousands of dollars, that's a lot. That's
even half of that, $500,000 for access to the greatest library is a lot. It does
make you wonder if maybe their security should be a little tighter.
No, it's fine. It's the honor system. Don't worry about it.
Surely it's not really. Surely it's much lower than that. But it's still funny to think it could be up to $1 million.
The honor system. So Shallan gets to her little reading nook. She sits down. She does some art stuff for a little bit. Distracts her. We get some backstory on her and her, a little bit of backstory on her and her family, and all that kind of thing. She does a drawing of Yasna at the boulder. She considers it to be one of the greatest pieces she's ever done.
She definitely doesn't have a crush on Yasna or anything like that.
Yeah, totally not.
Everybody who thought that was just reading too much into it.
Yeah, I mean, why would people think that Shallan is like a little gay toward Yasna when she's like, yo, she's got big boobs and she's like beautiful.
Like literally the most beautiful one I've ever seen.
She's literally like perfect. Like, what? Holy cow, I'm not perfect, but she is.
And certainly there is a component of that of like, I wish that I was her, because she seems to be like the embodiment of everything that I am supposed to be, societally speaking, but also, I mean, she also just does admire all those traits in Yasna. Like, quite a lot of the traits of her bright lady persona that she later creates are inspired by Yasna.
Yeah, it's just blonde Yasna at that point, right?
Blosna, if you will.
Blah.
But yes.
Shallan's in the alcove. She does her art. She writes a little letter to Yasna saying, please adopt me. Mm-hmm. Then this weird half-Herdazian ardent priest shows up, and he's like, hey, I'm not like other priests. I'm funny, and I'm jovial, and I'm kind of hot. She goes, oh my gosh, he's hot. Mm-hmm. And then he does a little jig, and then he frickin' lacquers a drawing for her, tells her that she's the best, and Yasna's not perfect. Mm-hmm. And then just like scoots out of there, basically.
Even though he showed up and said, I'm here to meet Yasna, once Yasna's coming, he's like, my work here is done, and then he leaves. Yeah. And Shallan's like, that's kind of weird. If he was going to meet with Yasna, anyway, I'm going to meet with Yasna now.
And then Yasna shows up and break.
Yeah, she is not happy and chapter break.
Yeah, she looks at Shallan and she like goes,
he's like, ew. Who let the pores in here?
Porter, I thought that I specifically told you to keep out the pores. So yeah, that's the chapter. Not a ton of exciting stuff going on, but there's a couple of interesting points. It's,
Mm-hmm. This is the kind of chapter that I write, and then I have so much fun writing it, and then people are like, well, nothing happened, so you should probably cut that entire chapter. I'm like, but that's like the entire fun I had writing this book was this one chapter, so I don't want to cut it. It's a very slice of life chapter where nobody is getting tortured and dying. There's there's some bad things are going to happen at home if I do this, but it doesn't really matter right this moment.
Definitely in terms of tone, it belongs in the book. I'm happy that we're not going right from Kaladin being, bridge forward to Shallan. To Shallan getting just screamed at by Shalon getting emotionally bridge forward by Yasna. Um, all right, off the top, do you have any notes or things that stood out to you in this
Yes,
chapter?
the first one is that Brando doesn't really hide important things from the reader in terms of like needing to deeply read between the lines to start to put the pieces together. Things are usually pretty surface level, just there's so much happening that you don't necessarily know what details are important. There's a I think I
But
mentioned it
everything's
before.
important.
There's a piece of writing advice I read one time, I can't remember who said it, but like if you want to have a red herring in like a mystery or
Mm-hmm.
something similar, just you can describe a character, for example, going through a drawer and trying to find clues inside it. They said like you can have the important clue be in the list of things that he finds, just don't have it be the very first or the very last thing. Like sure,
Yeah.
and then
Okay.
your reader doesn't necessarily because you're not putting the you don't have the bias that humans do of the most
First and
recent
last
thing
of
and
a
the first
list.
thing.
Yeah.
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 And so it's just one of the things on the list. So somebody might
Mm-hmm.
start to put the pieces together, but they can't prove it. They might know it, but they can't prove it because you gave the same amount of attention to other stuff too. It's a maybe it was like a D&D piece of advice I got also. Like your players are looking for the
Sure.
clue, give
Yeah.
them a list of
Yep.
things, and same thing. And so Brando does frequently just give us very important pieces of information, but he's not necessarily putting the emphasis on it so that we are aware of how important it is. And one of the examples that stood out to me the most in this chapter is Shalon talking about how she feels like she's like capturing a piece of the soul of people when she draws them. And
Yeah.
we,
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
course, later learn that she is tapping into the spiritual realm to make her drawings. She is coming about as close as you can get to actually capturing a piece of somebody's soul when she makes these drawings. And Brando just told us. It's just in the in the text of the story.
He
He's
did straight up tell us.
and things like I mean, I guess that's really the main. The other example I was going to say is pointing out that Shalon notices that he didn't stick around for Yasna. That's not really quite the same thing, but I did think that was very interesting, and that kind of the Shalon spiritual thing led me on a thought tangent of thinking, oh, and of course this is what Shalon does. We later see is very similar to stuff that we see with the spiritual realm in Mistborn, and even later on in one of the books, Renarin basically does the exact same thing that was done in Mistborn of like stun locking and scaring somebody by showing them a potential future of themselves. And then that made me think about the difference between how Renarin, as a truth watcher, uses his spiritual realm illusion abilities compared to Shalon, where Shalon is showing somebody like she doesn't
Their
really show
idealized
somebody
self, right?
she doesn't show someone a potential future. She shows someone like an idealized version of who they
Yeah.
are. Whereas
Yeah,
I think
and
Renarin does show like alternate universe versions of people, which he can weaponize against them. What if you weren't the worst person in the world?
Renarin's just kind of cool like that.
Yeah. But
Yeah, I
that
was.
led me. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. Go ahead.
That led me to thinking about the dynamic between Shalon and Yasna in Yasna being very focused on the cognitive realm and Shadesmar, and Shalon being much more focused on the spiritual realm. And of course, all of her art, and how Yasna, as we learn, doesn't pick up on this immediately. She at first thinks that maybe Shalon is the exact same kind of artist as her and is really trying to, not in a malicious way, but like all that Yasna knows is academics and logic. And
Right, yeah.
she tries to shape Shalon into that mold because that's just what she believes is the most important. And we saw that even in the first meeting that they had. Yasna almost completely brushes aside all of Shalon's interests in the arts, even though when we look forward in the series and we see how important artistry is to the various Radiants, it seems ridiculous that somebody as intelligent as Yasna would brush aside such a massively important element of this cosmic reality. But she just doesn't know yet. All she knows is her scholarly logic focus, and so that's what she tries to make Shallan be. And so part of Yasna's character arc as the story goes on is her being Shallan's teacher helps her to understand the value of this other aspect that she doesn't understand. And Shallan still, although she of course does put a lot of value into her art, despite everybody telling her that it's not as important as the other things, she does still have she does see a lot of value in a lot of this academic stuff, and she is trying really hard to make up for that weakness in her life. But it's just this like contrast between the two of them that serves a good purpose throughout the story that I like.
Yeah, and as the story goes on, we certainly see instances where Shallan really, I mean, even in this book where Shallan like loses weeks at a time of doing scholar work.
Yeah.
Where, like
she does like it. It's just not the most important thing to her. But it prevents her from just being like a mini Yasna.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And something interesting that I was just kind of thinking about as you were saying about how Yasna, like what she knows and is used to is the scholarly side of things. When Shallan asks if Yasna wants to see her visual arts, Yasna was essentially like, "Oh, that's just like
literal
busy
nonsense.
work that people give to women because like whatever." But like Yasna doesn't have a lot of information on the Radiance. Like she's still essentially trying to. Ow!
The cat being a dick again.
Sorry. Yeah, he just friggin' dug his claws into my leg. What was my thought? Yasna is still trying to like prove both to herself and people that Urithiru is a real place.
Right. Yeah, she doesn't really know anything yet. It's just she's such a know-it-all that it's funny to think about how little she knows right now.
Yeah. And she certainly will, like you said, come to appreciate more of the kind of visual and vocal arts. But yeah, something I was thinking about as I was driving home and listening to the chapter is that in terms of the actual word soul casting, I think what Shallan is doing right now is the closest thing to casting someone's soul into an image.
Yeah.
Right? Because like, it's interesting that
the word soul is never really used in soul casting to refer to people. There is no
right. It's always
going on.
Yeah.
I wonder what the in-world etymology of that. Well, because the soul casters are originally referred to the people before it referred to the act of doing it, right?
Yes,
so
correct.
They are the people who are changing the soul of an item,
the object. Yeah.
Which
but
is
it was just
really
like
accurate because they're changing the cognitive aspect and not the spiritual aspect of it, right? Maybe soul means something different in their language than it does in English.
Yeah, no, exactly, because the soul of the thing is the same soul that you start with, but you're convincing the soul of the thing to change into presenting as something else in the physical realm, which then influences the cognitive realm to start to reflect that. But like I might be thinking of it more in terms of like the blacksmithing use of the word cast.
Yeah.
But like when you cast something, you are taking a material and forming it into an image. So if Shallan is soul casting, she is taking someone's soul and casting it into an image on a page. And it just, I don't know why that specifically jumped out to me as much, but like Shallan's driving force in the beginning of the book is to replace a broken soul casting device, whereas the thing that she does is like actively casting people's souls onto a piece of paper.
To the point of casting as in a blacksmith, I'm sure the word like out of universe in terms of just in Brandon's head, I am sure that soul cast just comes from spell cast. in just the
Oh,
letters
yeah,
replaced.
yeah,
In which
yeah.
case, casting literally means throwing. If we follow back the
Mm,
etymology of where it came
yeah,
back
yeah, yeah.
from in
No,
our
that's
real world,
fair.
but that doesn't mean that that's what he intended it to be. The explanation of the word in universe could actually be similar to like blacksmith casting.
Hmm. But but yeah, it was just like I said, something specific that jumped out to me at
Yeah,
this
yeah.
listen.
But aside from
All right.
that, there's
Yeah.
not terribly much else in here. We got bless you.
Excuse me.
We got a little bit of the world building and description of the Palaname itself. All of that. All of this giant chamber was already here, and then descriptions of this crazy giant library, the
Yeah.
money, the massive amount of money, um, and then Capsule, our introduction to this guy that we later learn is not actually an Arden. I don't
It's also kind of a
know.
dick.
Yeah, I don't know if we got any direct hints that he wasn't actually an Arden in here, aside from like there's reason to be suspicious of him leaving before Yasna actually shows up. Um, but there could be other explanations for that. He could have obviously, if someone has any reading comprehension, they're gonna know to be suspicious of him. But like, oh, he just talked to this attractive girl that he wasn't expecting to be there, and learned that they have a bunch of stuff in common. It makes sense to think he'd just be like excited and forgot
Yeah.
their initial reason. That's something Shalon would do. Um, so other than that. Like I think later he in like maybe later chapters he talks about trying to avoid other Ardents because they're going to give him chores. But right
Yeah.
here, I think we don't get any actual red flags, but those will come later.
Oh yeah.
It's neat to see Shallan able to just get right into her work. I did think it was funny when she's like, I've heard that when people make good arguments, logic sprint appear, but I've never seen one. I'm like, ooh, that's a little bit of a self burn, Shallan, maybe.
Yeah.
But otherwise, yeah, she makes a spiritually truthful picture of Yasna, and that is going to be one of the things that is a little influential in Yasna giving her a second chance, right? So that's
Yes, I believe so. The
because
picture and her view
yeah,
of her.
and so it's also nice to see. It's nice to see the arguments that Shallan is writing down that she's planning on giving to Yasna, and then like thinking, well, now that I say it out loud, it doesn't seem like uh,
Mm.
the most absolutely perfect argument it could be. How can I improve this? And like
Yeah.
I've read a lot of romantasy adjacent books and like Sarah J. Maas books where we have characters
Romantasy.
that are just obsessively self-confident, and like I am for that in some circumstances. It can be really fun to have a character who is
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
egregiously overconfident and like watch them get in trouble because of it. But it's nice to see someone who's just like really self-aware in some ways, even though she's not in other ways. In self-aware in the ways that is actually going to help her achieve this specific goal of hers. It's nice to see
Yeah.
that. And that's I suppose really all I have to say about it. I am I am of the two of us the guy who likes Shallan. This was a good Shallan chapter in my view.
Yeah, I will say this listen, especially I did dig forward a few more chapters into the next portion. So like through the interludes and stuff. I don't hate this chapter as much as I used to. I used to wish that we got a little bit more of Kaladin kind of reacting post bridge run stuff.
I mean, I also wish that we don't get a lot of that, do we?
Yeah, not.
I wish
Yeah,
we got
not
a little
really.
bit less of what we got leading up to the point Kaladin's at now, and a little bit more of his reaction to stuff. We do a lot of it, like just when I feel like we're gonna start to get into his reactions to the camp, we do basically like time skip, right? He's just like, and anyway, this
Yeah,
has been daily life for Kaladin for a while. It's like, okay,
yeah, it's Kaladin's getting egregiously shin kicked by everything on the bridge run.
Yeah.
We cut to a couple Shallan chapters, and then we cut back, and somebody in the camp is going, "Hey guys, run and see! Kaladin's getting shin kicked again."
Oh, it's a Tuesday then?
It's a day ending in Y.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't.
Suffering.
Kaladin equals suffering. It's a
Mathematical equation.
Mathematically complete equation.
Axiom.
It's a katek. It's equal on both sides.
Oof.
Speaking of kateks, we heard a name of the Almighty in here that I don't know comes up ever again.
I did not notice that. What is that name?
Ooh.
I remember her talking about the chart of virtues, which is just the Sephiroth, but like sideways. I don't remember.
Yeah, she was describing the doors with the handful of circles and lines and like graph explanations, and I was like, that's the door from Full Metal Alchemist, but whatever.
Yeah, that's literally
Yeah.
literally just that, but with some different virtues on it.
Maybe. Who knows? They may just have the door of truth.
I mean, there's a chart in the literal book that shows you the virtues. We know what the virtues are.
Yeah, but she doesn't specify that this door has the chart of virtues on it.
That's very true.
I think it's headcanon that they have the door, the gateway of truth in the Palanaeum, which would make sense why it's so expensive.
Yeah,
all right, so the name...
You're just going to find a literal just freaking homunculus just behind your door.
Well, I mean, to be fair, it is Carbronth, and Taravangian is doing some weird stuff.
Carbronth and Taravangian would just fit perfectly into Full Metal Alchemist. That's
he's such a Full Metal Alchemist character. Holy cow! All right, so anyway. The name of the Almighty is Elithanathiel. Elithanathiele. He who transforms. I don't think we hear that.
Elithanathiele.
Yes.
Interesting.
I think that's the only instance of that. Really?
Maybe it's just because it's really similar to another name. So if I go to the Coppermind, it goes down to the section on Vorinism, does it? Elithanathiele. That's the last of his 10 names, only used by Ardents, which would make sense why we don't hear it otherwise, because we don't have Ardents as characters generally. Interesting. Who was it who mentioned that?
Shallan.
So it's interesting that Shallan would use that name if it's only Vorin, if it's only Ardents who use it.
So if I go to the Stormlight Archive fandom page, there are 2 references. One of which is The Way of Kings Chapter 7, and another one is a book signing in California.
According to Brandon Sanderson, in Magic the Gathering, honor would be mono white. Yeah, no kidding. Who would have thought?
Words of Brando. Words of Brando. Elithanathiele is the 10th name of the Almighty, and it is related to the concept of change and why things are consistently divided into 10 parts in the Stormlight Archives. That's it. So
neat.
Not universe breaking, but weird that it only shows up this one time. Spoken by Shallan, who hadn't even encountered Capsule yet.
Yeah.
So maybe she had Ardents on her mind already. I don't freaking know. That's my note. Got a couple notes here. One of them just says Capsule's a bitch.
It's true.
Which I mean, I think we can all agree on. Oh, I think we know why.
He's kind of a little bit of a frat bro even here.
Yeah.
Like, he is definitely up to no good, even if you don't know that he's a Ghost Blood yet.
He definitely...
Definitely you think that he just wants to bang, or that he wants Shallan to put in a good word with Yasna. But probably
Yasna,
he just wants to bang.
Yasna, listen. I know you friggin' hate the Ardents, and I know you hate me, personally. Like, but you do not like me.
Give me a solid. And like,
there's this really cool... There's this really cool half Herdazian Ardent. He's like 21 years old. He's bald. He's got a square beard. Okay, I know that doesn't narrow it down, but hear me out.
Like,
He dances on tables.
Like, have you seen what Andrew Tate's fans think he looks like? That's essentially that's what this guy looks like.
That's him.
I swear.
Yeah, Capsule Tate. There we go. I hate that I just said that sentence. I'm sorry.
I led you to it, so there you go.
We get a quick mention of the Dawn Singers.
Mm-hmm.
Which
very quick mention. We get a lot of very quick mentions of them that really don't add up to much in general. Not in this chapter, but just like throughout the series.
Yeah. So Dawn Singers are just the... Okay, so Dawn Singers are just ancient native Rosharans that are believed to have like created the planet in the way that the Dawn Shards did, which is freaking...
Yeah, it's at this point, I don't know that we know that they're anything other than just the original singers before humans got involved.
But yeah, so we get a quick mention of the Dawn Singers. Let's see. Shallan's drawing of Yasna attracts like 24 creation spren, which, as we said before, are the spren that makes her armor. So it's funny that we've seen in Kaladin's really far flashback chapter of him being the spear captain in Amaram's army. He was attracting a couple dozen wind spren, which of course make the honor Windrunner armor. And then Shallan is now attracting approximately the same number of creation spren, which of course make her armor. And
it's a little bit of a chicken and egg thing. It's like, are we seeing these things because they've already been... I mean, of course, Shallan's already a Radiant and doesn't know it.
She's like almost a fourth ideal, right? From her original bond.
I don't remember what exactly she was, but she was unfortunately far along, and then
be scary to have a freaking 6-year-old Radiant of the Fourth Order.
Yeah. That's kind of the entire point. The Spren were like, what if we groomed them? And then it did not turn out to be a good idea for several reasons. We don't do that anymore.
Guys, listen. I thought we stopped doing this a while ago.
And so, it's a chicken and egg thing of like, is it because they've already kind of been chosen that we're seeing this, or is it because these are the traits in them that are like the same traits that are causing them to attract these spren in the first place are also the ones that are causing these spren to want to bond with them, because these are the traits that mesh well with these orders that they join into. Yeah,
because Kaladin was protecting the boy. Which when Windrunners are all about that protection bond.
Yes. Well, and literally doing art.
Doing art and creating an idealized version of Yasna, which could be seen as... Well, it's a truth, right? Because the... her order, whatever the frig it's called... Lightweavers are about speaking truths. So
they're not about speaking truths. That's Renarin's Truth Watchers. Her
no, Shallan has speaking truths. No, it is. Hold on. Let me bring it up.
Even though Pattern is always asking for lies.
Hold on. Lightweavers. I will speak my truth is the core philosophy of the Lightweavers. Okay.
So that's like
later ideals.
My truth. Yeah.
Sorry. Later ideals of the Lightweavers, which is just everything past the initial one, are related to speaking individual truths about themselves. Truths related to deep introspection, along with a readiness to confront harsh realities.
Okay.
So
Yeah, like
she's
Weaver's
creating,
was
yeah,
one of the first. Yeah, so you're right. It's just a different kind of truth than the
yeah,
literal. The Truth Watchers care about like as close to objective truth as you can get,
yeah.
and Light Weavers are about
I stole
the world
ice
as they see
cream
it.
from my brother when I was 6, and I lied about it.
Rip Bozo.
Can I have my ideal, please? But yeah, that's kind of all I've got. I've gone back and forth a little bit on. Sorry, I've gone back and forth a little bit on whether I think Cabsol is already targeting Shallan
Yeah.
when he approaches her in the alcove, because like definitely by the time he leaves, right? He leaves early, and he's like, "Give Yasna my regards." He's like, "Oh, this is it. We're good. We're golden. We're set." But I don't know. Do you think that when he arrives in Shallan's alcove, he already has his whole plan squared away and set up?
I think most of it, because he wasn't he entirely sent here to target Shallan? Isn't that literally the entire reason that he's here?
I thought he was here to kill Yasna.
Okay.
Because the Ghostbloods did end up trying to kill them when they're aboard the ship.
Yeah. I thought that was because they decided that they weren't going to be able to turn Shallan at that point. That like he wanted to kill Yasna so he could isolate Shallan and begin indoctrinating her. But I could be wrong.
Yeah, just a second. Scrubbing. Where's... Sometime before 1174, Cabsol joined the Ghostbloods and went undercover as an Ardent to the Palanaeum, repeatedly requesting an audience with Yasna, but was not granted one. When visiting Yasna's reading alcove, he met Shallan, who was also waiting for Yasna, admired her art, as well as encouraged her.
Okay, so I guess it's most likely that he was there to target Yasna, and then initially use Shallan as an opportunity, and then when the Ghostbloods were like, wait a second, we know who that is. Here's the other half of your mission. I guess that makes sense.
Dude, just fell into that one, didn't you? Number 5. Yeah, he pretended to pursue romantic involvement with Shallan with the goal of assassinating her mentor, Yasna Kholin.
Well, there we go.
Well, there we go. Yes, I know that he is. Yes, poison. Yes.
And then Shallan's like, I think you should bring some jam because I like jam. And of course, that ends up being the climax of her whole character arc in this book is the poison jam.
She likes jam.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's what we got. I think the next chapter is going to be going to give us a little bit more about like Shallan's character and reacting to the situation a little bit more.
It's interesting that the Kaladin long chapter wasn't cut in two, but we do get the Shallan stuff cut in two. I don't really know why that is, because the next chapter starts immediately, so it could have just been one chapter.
We could have gotten like we could have gotten 2 long character anchoring chapters.
Yeah. Like and maybe this is showing my lack of editing skill, but if I was given this as a manuscript to developmental edit, I would have looked at this and just offhandedly said, okay, your Kaladin chapter is twice as long as it should be. You have 2 Shallan chapters, one after the other. So the obvious solution is cut your Kaladin chapter in half and just alternate the Kaladin Shallan like we've been doing. I don't know if that would have been the optimal choice, because like Brando had his good editor at this point.
He
So
did,
surely
yeah.
this was something that they would have considered, but for some reason it's left the way it is. And maybe it ends up that the next chapter is also a really long one, and maybe that's why it's cut here. But
Hold on, let me check. I have my physical book right here.
oh yeah,
Sec. So Shalon, this chapter,
I think this is a 45-minute chapter in the audiobook.
127 to 146, so 19 pages. Then Nearer the Flame is 146 to 166. So it's 20. They're both the same length.
Okay, so yeah, I don't understand why. Maybe they just really didn't want to interrupt the Kaladin motion, which I don't
Maybe.
necessarily know if that was necessary. We kind of could have ended with him being sent to Gaz and then started the next chapter with him starting on the bridge run. I don't know. For whatever reason, we have it in the current state it is.
Yeah, I mean, or even, and I'm just, I'm not a true writer or editor myself, but have the chapter break be in the middle of the bridge run, because to Kaladin, it becomes a, like, infinite time frickin'.
Yeah. I think as far as what would make sense for the break, that would make sense.
Yeah.
But you would just have 3/4 of a chapter on one side and like a quarter on the other side.
Yeah, that is fair.
And again, that's more stuff that could be fixed in editing, because you can tell an author, I need you to reduce the length on this side and increase it on this side, and it would have been fine. Especially since we didn't get a lot of that reaction from Kaladin. That would have been a good opportunity for that, but
yeah,
whatever.
even just have, like, he gets to Bridge 4, he does the first part of the bridge run, he's in the middle of running, we break, do Shalon stuff, we come back, he's still slogging along because it takes friggin' 6 hours,
that
apparently.
He's been running this entire time.
Exactly, yeah. He got delegated to a background task, and he's still running.
And he's still going.
Finishes the bridge run, comes back, and he's just like, this ain't good, guys. Oh, almighty, I'm going to have to run some bridges. But yeah, that's about all I got.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything else either.
Alrighty. Until hopefully we can hit this again in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I hope so.
Get something straightened out. It was a good episode tonight, and it's definitely been a length of time since the last one.
Indeed, I'm glad we were able to get to it. Thank you
for
joining me again, my brother, and I'll see you next time.